Now, this is the new chapter, Body Fluid and Circulation, chapter number 18 from the Human Physiology of class 11th. And in previous video lecture, we have discussed about the general information or general things about the body fluid and circulation. Now, we are going to discuss about the next topic, that is the blood, which is the one of the component of blood vascular system or blood circulatory system of human being. So we are just going to discuss about the various information about the blood in human circulatory system. So let us discuss some general features of the blood. So the first, blood is a natural colloid. So we have studied in about the colloid in chemistry subject. It is the part of chemistry. So colloid, in short way, we are discussing about the colloid also. Colloid is a solution, a type of solution in which that can be or there are some particles, they remain separated from the solvent particle. It means the solid particles remain suspended inside the liquid parts or solvent parts. So that kind of solution is called colloid. So blood is a natural colloid, and one thing about the blood is the study of blood is known as serology, or it is also known as hematology. So, if a question asks for the branch of science deals with the study of blood, so the branch is known as serology or hematology. Now, the next feature about the blood is, so blood is a connective tissue. So, we have also discussed the different types of tissue in our body or in animals body. So the animals body, the tissue are classified into 5 groups. We have discussed that epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and there are 4 main categories, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So blood is a part of connective tissue or is a type of connective tissue. So connective tissue because it connects different parts of our body. So they are considered as connective tissue. The pH of blood is about 7.4. So 7.4, we have also discussed know about the pH as the pH, when it remain at the level of 7, then the substance will be neutral or salty in nature, while below the 7 it is acidic in nature, while above the 7 it is basic nature. It means the nature of blood is alkaline, or it can be said that basic nature. And the quantity of blood we also discuss related to the general features. So in male, the quantity of blood is about 5.5 liter, while in female it is 5 liter. So amount of blood differ in male as well as in female. So next is the production. So blood is especially produced in bone marrow in the case of mature body, and or after birth, or in adult. The bone marrow is the place where the formation of blood takes place, but in embryo or during embryonal stage, the blood not formed in bone marrow, because in the embryo the bones are not so developed, and it means there is no bone marrow inside the bones. Bones are remain flexible. So in that case, liver is the organ which are responsible for the formation of blood in the case of embryo. Now we are going to the next feature, that is storage of blood. So in our body, the storage of blood takes place in organ, and that organ is known as spleen. Spleen is present on our left side from near the stomach. So adjacent to stomach, the on left side there is a structure which is known as spleen, and spleen is responsible for storage of blood. Blood remains stored inside the spleen. And the other thing about the spleen is it is also the graveyard of RBC, as RBC does not contain a number of cell membrane or membrane bound structure. So in the absence of or after completing its life cycle or lifespan, which is about 120 days, so other cells have, there are three cells, RBC, WBC and platelets. We will discuss about these also. So due to absence of lysosome in RBC, so RBC get destroyed in the spleen only, but rest of the cells, they destroy itself by the help of their lysosome in their cells after completing lifespan. Now the next is the cholesterol level. So in general or in a healthy person, there should be the amount of cholesterol 200 gram per deciliter. It means above this cholesterol level, the blood inside the blood, if the more than 200 gram per deciliter cholesterol will be responsible for a number of problems like the heart attack or heart related problem. Now the next is about the discovery of blood vascular system. So blood vascular system in human being or blood circulatory system in human being, first of all observed by William Harvey, which is the most important topic related to our chapter. It was asked many times in our examination. So these are the general features related to the blood. Now we are going to proceed towards the function of blood. So blood play important role to do a various kind of function in our body. The first function is to regulate body temperature. So blood circulates throughout the body, and due to warm-blooded animals, we comes under the category of warm-blooded animal, our body temperature must remain constant. So that constant body temperature is maintained by our blood. And how this body temperature maintained? So blood flow throughout the body, and the energy released by the body cells get distributed throughout the body in similar manner. So the body temperature remains constant about 37 degrees Celsius of our body temperature, and that body temperature remain maintained or regulated by our blood. So the first function or the main function of blood is to regulate body temperature. Now the next is the transport of nutrients. So the nutrients after digestion, the nutrients get absorbed in our small intestine. So in small intestine, on the wall of small intestine, the villi allow the nutrients or digested nutrient get absorbed into the blood through the network of blood capillaries over the wall of small intestine. So blood after absorption the nutrients into the blood is able to transport these nutrients to all the body cells, because body cells are sink place or the place where the nutrients are required by our body. So that transport of nutrient take place through our blood. Now the next is the transport of respiratory gases. So respiratory gases, as we have discussed in previous chapter about the respiration, transport of gases. So the blood contains a special pigment which is known as hemoglobin. We will also discuss in the case of when we discuss about the formed element in detail. So hemoglobin is the pigment that is responsible for to transport gases. That means the respiratory gases. So from lungs, the oxygen get transported to our body tissue, and from body tissue, the carbon dioxide also released during aerobic respiration. We have our body perform aerobic respiration. So the release of carbon dioxide, also the accumulation of CO2 creates some problems. So they also need to remove from the body. So from the tissue, CO2 get transported to the lungs, while from lungs to tissue, body tissue, the transportation of oxygen which take place through the blood. Now the next is the transport of excretory substances. So after metabolism in our body cells, the various kind of excretory product, mostly the nitrogenous waste. So these nitrogenous waste were collected by our blood, and the blood, after collecting these nitrogenous waste from all body cells, they carry these waste material or the nitrogenous waste product towards the excretory organ, that is the kidney, a pair of kidney in our body. So kidney absorb these excretory product from the blood by the process of ultrafiltration. So the waste material get absorbed into the kidney, and the blood again remain free from these nitrogenous waste, and then move towards the next step to collect these nitrogenous waste. And so this the recycling process taking place through the blood to excrete the excretory product into the kidney, and kidney, after collecting these excretory product, form the urine, and urine get collected in our urinary bladder, and through the urinary bladder they get out from the body. Now some also functions of the blood, like the transport of hormones. We have discussed that, or we know that the endocrine gland, generally all the endocrine glands release their secretion directly into the blood, and these secretions are the hormones, not the other things. So hormones are also the things that are only transported through our blood to the place where they are required by our body cells. So transport of hormones also take place through our blood. Now the next is about the component of blood. So blood mainly consists of two main components. The first component is plasma, which is about 55% of total blood, while the second component is formed element, which makes the 45% of total blood. So in this video lecture we will only discuss about the detail of plasma. In next video lecture we will discuss about the detail of formed element, but here we discuss the types of formed element, or what are the formed element. So first let us discuss about the plasma. So plasma is the main or the maximum component of our blood. So how plasma make the structure of blood, and also they responsible for the various function of our body, are essential for our body. So first let us know about the component of plasma. So the 90 to 92% of plasma made from the water, means the water that we drink, that makes about 90 to 92% of our plasma. Rest about 8% of plasma made from protein, and these proteins are fibrinogen, prothrombin, globulin, albumin. So out of these two proteins, fibrinogen and prothrombin, these are responsible for clotting, blood clotting. So they are known as clotting factor. And rest two out of two, one, that is globulin, is responsible for primary defense of our body through the blood, while the albumin is responsible for the osmotic balance, means it regulates the osmotic balance of our blood. It means the amount of water gets regulated by albumin. Now the next component is the minerals. So in blood or in plasma there are various kind of minerals, or the ions are found. So these minerals contain sodium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion, bicarbonate ion, chloride ion, etc. So these are the minerals that are present in our plasma, which are also play important role for various kind of activity in our body. Now the next is the nutrients. So we have discussed in the function of blood that the transport of nutrient also take place in our blood, through our blood to our body. So that nutrients in the form of glucose, the digestive product of carbohydrate, amino acid, the final product of digestion of protein, while the lipids, which is the digestive product of fat. So these are the nutrients which are the final product after digestion get absorbed into the blood. So blood carry these nutrients dissolve in plasma. It means plasma is the place where these nutrients get remain inside the blood, and along with the plasma they carry throughout the body cells or towards the body cell. So these are the various components of blood plasma, and the plasma without clotting factor, plasma without clotting factor is known as serum. So here it is very important topic, that is serum. So serum is the plasma in which these clotting factor, that is fibrinogen and prothrombins, get removed. So after removing this clotting factor, we say the plasma as serum, which is fluid liquid substance, yellow in color. So yellowish color, without clotting factor, plasma is called the serum. Now the next is formed element, the second component which makes about 45%. Formed element, or these are the solid component. Plasma is the liquid, while the formed elements are the solid component of the blood. So the formed element of blood consists of three kinds of blood cells. They are also known as dark cells, like RBC and WBC. So these three, the one is RBCs, or it is also known as, the technical term for RBC is erythrocytes. The second is the WBCs, white blood cells or dark cells, or it is known as technically leukocyte. And the third is known as platelets or thrombocyte. So we will discuss about these three formed element of the blood in next video lecture.